This squiggle shape has been really popular lately, so in this video I'm going to show you how to create shapes like this in Illustrator with ease. I'm also going to show you how to make them into shapes that you can change the colors of, how to edit the corners, and then also how to make it a more wonky, irregular shape, because that's been really popular lately as well. So I'll teach you how to do this regular version, and then a couple different methods for utilizing it, and then a couple different methods for also making it into kind of a wonky, irregular blob squiggle shape if you want, because that has been super popular in the wedding world. I am Lainey. I'm a wedding invitation designer, and I love to teach people how to design wedding invitations as well as creating successful stationery businesses. I have a membership for stationery designers. If you want to join it, it's linked in the description of this video. So first we're just going to draw, let's start with an ellipse. We'll do a circle. And then you're going to go up to Effect, Distort and Transform, and we're going to go with Zigzag and Smooth. And you can change the size of the wave. Obviously, we'd like to keep it a little bit smaller, and then ridges per segment. I don't know how this works on a circle, actually. I guess the segments are between the anchor points. So you can just play with that as much as you like until it looks how you want it to look. Obviously not one. You can go from like a really light wave to something a little bit heavier. All right, so what does this look like on a rectangle? There's a little bit more that you have to think about. So we'll do a rectangle. Again, Effect, Distort, and Transform, Zigzag, and we'll smooth. And what you can see, especially here, is that these corners look really weird. What I found is if you have an even number of waves per segment, then two of the corners are going to look weird. Or if you have an odd number, then the corners will match up and they'll all look the same. They still kind of look a little bit weird sometimes, but that's okay. And then you can play with it. So again, I try to just keep an odd number, unless you want it really wonky, and that's fine too. And then you can just kind of play with it until it looks how you like. Now, one thing that I don't love about this rectangle option is these ones at the top are a different size than the ones going down the sides. Maybe this is the look you're going for, and that's completely fine. It looks really nice, but perhaps it's not. So in that case, what I've been doing is just using a line segment tool. I'm going to move this over to the side. Using a line segment tool. Also, sometimes in the rectangle when they connect the corners, I just don't love how it connects. This one actually looks pretty cool, but it just kind of depends. So then I've been doing the effect on a line, and then we always want to remember to put this at an odd number of sorts. We'll go a little higher, 7, and I think that's really cute. And then for the other ones, we'll just copy this, paste it in place 3 times. One, we're going to drag all the way to the bottom, and then we're just going to rotate it. You could also flip it, but I just like rotate because I can get to it easily, so that it's the opposite of the other one. And then the other 2, we are going to rotate 90 degrees. And then this one, we're going to rotate 180 degrees again, just so it's the opposite of that one. And then we'll expand the size of these, but we're going to do these 2 at the exact same time, just so that they stay the same way. And what you see is as they get bigger, we are stretching those waves again. So you'll just go into the appearance and the zigzag effect on this one, and we'll add more. So where we have 7, we might need to have 11 for it to be approximately the same size, and I just like that better. You can do both of these at the same time, but I didn't. So, and then we need to connect these as a shape, because like with this shape, you can change the color, you can do whatever you want with it and act like it's a normal shape with a stroke or without a stroke, whatever you want to do with it. This one is just for lines right now. So what we would need to do in order to connect the shapes, first of all, we need to just physically connect them. And since these are all the same, we want to just keep them lined up appropriately. And then each one you'll need to outline the stroke before. So you can see there's only one anchor point on either side. There's not anchor points everywhere. So we'll need to go into Object, Path, and Outline Stroke. And then what that does is each one is now a bunch of different anchor points on two sides. So now you have the ability to, like, I'm not sure if these are overlapping perfectly right now, but you have the ability to connect them as a shape. Then if you want to get rid of one of them, you'll just need to release the compound path and you'll have two. So pretty, it's a little extra step, but not too bad. And now you can just do the same thing by changing this into a shape. You can edit the corners a little bit easier on this one. One thing I found here is, like, if you were to try and edit the corners, those little waves are part of the corner too, and so I find that kind of complicated. This corner looks actually really cool. I like this corner, but when I've played with this in the past, they don't always look really good. They sometimes look really awkward. So in this case, you'd be able to edit those corners because there are anchor points on each one. So you could bring that in, and that looks a little bit better and more natural. You can change the shape of them however you like. And if you want to create a more wonky shape that's not even all the way around, you're going to need anchor points. And on this one where we used the zigzag tool on the full shape, there's no anchor points. You'd have to go in and expand your appearance, and then you're going to get anchor points, and you can just kind of mess with those, make this one a little higher, this guy a little lower, do whatever you want to make it a little bit wonkier. On this option where we've already outlined the stroke, released the compound path, we have those anchor points already created, so we can do that. And another option, using this as a guideline, I'm just going to lock this, which is Control-2, and then you can just use the curve tool and kind of use this as a guideline, but make it purposely wonky. And I think that gives you a more wonky shape, a little bit in a way it's more naturally wonky. Does that make sense? And gives you some freedom in editing that. So we don't want to fill in the shape, but we do want maybe the stroke to be. So then that gives you kind of a wonky line. And then if you get to a point where you do it all the way around and you want to use it as shape, then again, you're just going to go and outline your stroke, and then you'll have anchor points on all of them. You'll need, if you want the inside or outside, you'll again need to make the shape, release the compound path, etc. But it's really not that many extra steps. And I think this looks more naturally wonky, which I realize is an oxymoron, than taking this existing shape and messing with it. I mean, this looks kind of cute up here, but I kind of like this better personally. It's up to you, but there's a lot of different options here for depending on, how you want your final piece to look and what methods that you prefer in Illustrator, which is one of my favorite things about Illustrator. So feel free to comment questions that you have on this, and while you're here, I hope you'll check out some of our other stationery design tutorials and Adobe Illustrator tutorials. We also have a full membership for stationery designers in which you get videos like this delivered directly to your inbox and 2 full courses every month. So I hope you'll join Stationery School if you're interested in becoming a wedding invitation designer. Thanks, everyone.